Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger. Daily market news analysis. What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the chat below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. All right, let's get into it, y'all. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin sitting at 111,400 doll hairs. And we've been talking a lot about the Wyckoff accumulation with your, you have your preliminary support, your selling climax, your secondary test, and phase B. The big question is, are we getting the LPS, phase C, or are we getting the spring variation of phase C? And in my opinion, so spring variation of phase C would take us to 105. The LPS variation would mean that the bottom is already done. And the next thing is getting into our sign of strength, which should take us to about 118. Either way we go, the next thing is the sign of strength for Bitcoin. Now, when we look at it, though, in my opinion, there's going to be lots of volatility the next couple of days. Okay? So, can we hold right here? Can we hold 109.9? If we can hold 109.9 for the next 2 days, that would mean that we are doing the LPS variation and the bottom is already in. And I'm pretty encouraged, to be honest with you, looking at this, because we have multiple higher lows at this point. And we're starting to get higher highs at this point. Now, we've had 2 rejections off of the 200 moving average on the 5 hour, but we are getting more and more coiled up, and we've had the 20 cross the 50. So now what we need to do is get fully on top of $112,900 with a daily body close. That would put us in the most bullish posture again. In my opinion, that would be, we're going to the top of the range, but very shortly we're going to the sign of strength. The top of the range is obviously back to 123. That's what I think is going to happen. On the 5 hour, we're pretty neutral. On the daily, it looks like the daily I actually like even more than the 5 hour. On the daily, it just looks like we got support here at the 100 moving average, which is really good. And we just, again, need to get daily body closes above 112,900. That would be beautiful. We still have the cross to the upside on the RSI. And so that's what I think is going to happen. I am, a few days ago, I was like 70-30. We're going to get the LPS. 30% chance we get the spring. Yesterday, I thought it was 80-20. Today, I'm sitting here, and I think there's an 85% chance we get the LPS variation, and we have a 15% chance that we get the spring variation. Okay? So that's where we're at with Bitcoin. Ultimately, we just got to get through the next 2 days. If we get through the next 2 days and hold 109,000, that means we're doing the LPS variation. If not, then we're going to test the 200 down here at 105,000. Moving on to the altcoins. Bitcoin Dominance still just falling off a cliff here. And actually, we gotten rejected off of the 20, which is even crazier. So that means all we need to do is take out 57.7, and likely we're going to have another big plunge like this. So the fact that we couldn't even get above the 20, I thought we would probably come up to the at least to the 50 and test that and roll over. It just shows you how weak Bitcoin Dominance really is, which is what we've been waiting for, everybody. What we've been waiting for. What are you waiting for? Enough. All right, Ethereum still just kind of hanging out here. We've had 2 touches at the top of the range. Technically made an all-time high right over here. But we've talked about this. Pretty rare you just bust through the all-time high the first go around. Generally takes 3-4 chances before you actually break through, and that's what I anticipate. Ultimately, we need to get above 43.50 daily body close, which, you know, we got above it. We got all the way up to 44. We got all the way up to 43.80. We got all the way up to 43.80, but we need the daily body close above here to get back in the most bullish posture. And I think, you know, if Bitcoin just gets back to 118, sign of strength, then in all likelihood, this is going to bust through here, or at least make a valiant attempt at the top of the range again. On the 5 hour, super coiled up now, looking really good. Cross to the upside on the 5 hour. Cross to the upside. Look at this. Perhaps tomorrow on the daily. So beautiful setup for Ethereum here. My targets are still 7,200. But the next thing we got to do is just clear the all-time high, right? I've given many examples of this before. I'll give you just an example over here, actually. So even just within Ethereum itself, here's the all-time high in 2018. And what do you notice? Like when you actually get here, let's pull this up a little bit. So there you go. You attempt to get to it. What do you see? This doesn't look like anything, but I promise you this is a 30% correction. You know what I mean? And that's how people get caught up in the, you know, a 33% correction, rejection off the all-time high. Same thing here. Rejection off the all-time high. This is a 26% correction. Okay? You finally break it, and then what do? You get a massive rejection, 36%. And what do? You back test the all-time high. So it's going to flirt with this $4,800 range for a little bit. And this is basically exactly what I think that we're going to do. You had multiple rejections off of it before you finally broke above it. And then what'd you do? You back tested it, broke above it, back tested it again before what? Going off and away and doing a 5x. Okay? Now, I don't think that Ethereum's going to do a 5x necessarily from here. However, structurally, we're basically at the same spot where we're just trying to get above the all-time high, and it's very common. People think that, you know, you get a 10% correction, you get a 20% correction, it's over, pack it up, boys. Well, what do we know about crypto? That happens every day. If you cannot handle that bit of volatility, you don't deserve 5x's. If you can't handle a 5% dip, you don't deserve a 5x. Okay? If you cannot handle a 20% dip, you do not deserve a 10x. I said it. If you think it's time to pack it up every 10% dip we get, you don't deserve a 5x. You just don't. All right? This is a game of leaving the hands from the impatient to the patient. That is the game. The more patient you are, the more you stack the deck in your favor to win this game. If you want to get rich quick, crypto is not for you. If you want to get rich eventually with patience, discipline, consistency, crypto might be for you. All right. Let's take a look at XRP. XRP looks really good to me. XRP perhaps is starting things off. We're already back in the most bullish posture. We are already cleared 295 daily body close. This is beautiful. We've had across the upside. So I think XRP very soon is going to attempt to make an all-time high again. And this time I think it's going to go into price discovery. The next price discovery is 420. All right, 420 blazing for XRP. We've had across the upside on the daily. Very good. And I like this too. Breakout back test. Come on now. XRP looks good. XRP looks very good. Perhaps going to lead things off. And then let's look at others. And then we'll get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. I'm back in the bat cave. Others, 315, picking up quietly. Quietly about to make a yearly all-time high. What was my target? My target was 372. We have picked up very significantly in the last couple of days. Up 10%. How many days is this? Y'all think it can't happen quickly. This is 4 days. And how far away are we from making a yearly high on others? We are 3% away from clearing a yearly high. And then this is my target. That was my target before the rate cuts. That is now 17% away. We'll see if we get that or not. But either way, I like the structure. Even if we don't get my target, even if I was off, so be it. That's fine. I like the structure where we're at. This looks very good to me with your, your Wyckoff accumulation, sign of strength, back test at the prior range, move higher than the sign of strength, back test, reaccumulate again. Where have we seen this setup? Ladies and gentlemen, where have we seen this setup? Does anyone remember? Class, turn your page to page 36, and we're going to look at the setup. What setup, you might be asking yourself? The one that keeps happening again and again and again. On the top, we have others, which others, if you're new, that's everything outside of the top 10. From 11 down. Thank you for becoming a member, Jay Beezy. You savage. Appreciate you, brother. Parabolic rise. Distribution, markdown, accumulation, sign of strength right here. Back test. This is, by the way, Bitcoin from 2013 through 2016. This is others from 2021 through present day. Move higher than the sign of strength. Move higher than the sign of strength. Back test, reaccumulate. You fight with the all-time high again. Very uncommon to just rip through the all-time high. What did Bitcoin do? 3 times. Multiple rejections here before then going off and away. And this is the markup. Okay. That's what I think others is going to do. Okay. We might get, it's probably, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, we're probably going to get rejected off the all-time high a couple times. Pretty common. You might count this as one. I probably wouldn't. Expect 3 rejections off the all-time high. People are going to tell you it's over. My target for others is 1.5 trillion. All right, that's my parabolic target. All right, let's get into the questions, comments, concerns. We'll start it off with TikTok today. Savage first. Ski, what up? What's up, fam? I'm buying Cyberpunk on Nintendo. 8 out of 10. Do you think we have a small sell-off? Sell the news rate cuts. Bombs in, boys. Time to max out credit cards. Let's go, Solnick. All we care about is ETH. So you're saying there's a chance? I'm here to people ask the same question. They've been asking for 9 months. Yeah, literally. When alt season, still bullish on Solnick. Will Vchain get to $1? Shall I buy ZPEC or Pengu? Alt season has already started because Ethereum is up 50% over Bitcoin. That is the start of alt season. It doesn't feel like it started, right? Because we think in our brains the start of alt season is when things are already 5x, and I'm here to tell you that's when it's time to sell. Bullish on Solnick. My number one 100x play, period. Will Vchain get to $1? 20, 40, 60. Those are my targets. How about Solana? 420, 510, 600, low, medium, high. Skis, beard will stay safe again. Hi, am I late? I just started, Nicole. Good to see you here. I just got back into Tennessee. So this is a late live stream for me today. Solana gonna break out. Let's take a look at Solana. People are talking about Solana waking up. That's a big one too for others. Not even others, just the total for Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance is in a free fall. That's what we've been waiting for, right? People want to wait until until we're already like ripping, but what you need to do is recognize the setups are here. The setups are here, ladies and gentlemen. Damn, I put this here. Come on now. You see this green arrow? I haven't looked at this in a minute. This looks good. Let's go to CoinMarketCap. Because I know I put this. I know I put that there about Solana. What market cap did I put that there? Let's see. Where did I put the Solana? Here we go. Look at that arrow. Come on now. What was the market cap? 84 billion. Come on, Wyckoff, don't lie, y'all. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Wyckoff, don't lie. All right, you see the green arrow. What green arrow am I talking about? Right here. I put this here. Let's see, when did I put that there? This was the setup that I saw for Solana. When was this? July 10th. Come on now. Y'all act like I do this in hindsight. No. 84 billion right here. What are we up? 40% since July 10th. You understand? Do you understand? In 60 days, that is 6 years of stock market gains. Come on now. Y'all act like I do this in hindsight. No, I don't. Sign of strength, back test, move higher. Back test again. Now we got to get above. We got to get above 140. That's the big level. I imagine we're going to get rejected a couple of times. Can you do what? Rose on Wyckoff? I got you. Thoughts on Rose? I like Rose. Would you buy Vchain right now? Vchain is my favorite blue chip play. Never heard of Solnic. Solnic's my number one 100x play. Nicole. On everything. On everything. Nicole. On everything. On everything I love. What I want you to do. Let's get a clean chart here. This is the weekly chart for Solnic. Okay. Here's the weekly chart, meaning every candle is 1 week. Okay. If you find a weekly chart, sub $20 million market cap, that looks like this, let me know. I will buy it right now. There does not exist a better chart on the weekly time frame. Sub $20 million market cap. It doesn't exist. I will buy it right now if you find it, though. Let me know. On everything, bro. That is my number one low market cap play. All right, let's look at the YouTube comments. Solana doing its thing. Streaming late. I am streaming late, the unknown. I just got back from Ohio. I was planning on being back yesterday, but I just decided to rest, completely shake whatever was going on. 88 price prediction, 2468, low, medium, high. Altcoin index at 73. You'll love to see it. What do you think about Sol? Long it at 190. Before Sol ETF approved. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Listen, I had no inclination. Listen, this post was July 10th. Okay, this is me. I'm on CoinMarketCap. I'm verified on CoinMarketCap. You can follow me there if you like. I'm sorry, big brother. Whatever you do, don't go to CoinMarketCap and look me up. TikTok. Anyways. Nothing in this post was anything about ETFs. Zero. Nothing about this said anything about the ETFs. How many times? But here we go. Like, I had this marked out at $84 billion market cap. What is Solana at right now? What's the market cap of Solana? Wyckoff don't lie, y'all. I don't care what the news is. People, they want me to get wrapped up in the news. I don't care. Because I'm telling you right now, show me the charts, I will tell you the news. What does that mean? Am I actually going to tell you the news? No. It just means I see setups in the charts, and the news has a way of figuring itself out. Yes, Mike. Is Wyckoff true on weekly? Yes. If you see it on the weekly, stick to the weekly. Just know that that's going to take a while to play out. It works on every time frame. Wyckoff works on every time frame. All right. Yes, Nick, that's the beard bet. Can we get a spring on the weekly? I think we've already gotten our LPS. Why is Vchain one of your favorite skis? Same as everything. If I like something, it almost has nothing to do with what they're actually doing. Because I just think that there's just so much noise. It's hard to actually, for me even, you know, and I can't imagine for someone who doesn't do this full time. It's hard to decipher, like, what is real, what is noise, right? So why do I put so much emphasis on charts? It's because I know that's real, okay? And so for me, what I look at here is, all right, I'm going to give you a nice little lesson here that perhaps you all can add to your toolbox, but I'll let you peek inside of my brain, right? You can see inside of my brain. And I'm going to show you like how I analyze projects, okay? Here's what I look for. Number one, supply plus demand. Okay, or you could call that tokenomics. So I start with tokenomics. How much inflation is there? That is number one, right? If they are diluting a product, it's not a good investment. I don't care what they do. I don't care if they turn water into wine. If they're diluting the product, it's not a good investment. I don't care if they're curing cancer. I don't care if they're curing blindness. I don't care. If they're diluting the product, it's not a good investment for ROI perspective. Okay? Number two, charts. The TA. All right? Number three. This one is the least important to me. These two are far and away the most important. Number three. Are they doing something? What are they doing? I don't care, actually. But are they doing something? If these three criteria are met, I am willing to investigate it further to perhaps add it to my portfolio or not. All right, so let's go to Vchain. Why do I like Vchain so much? All right, well, let's start with rule number one. What is rule number one? Supply plus demand, or tokenomics. Okay, what is the delusion of Vchain that will take place? Let's find out. Find out next time on Dragon Ball Ski. Will Vchain dilute their supply? Will they go Super Saiyan? Are they going to blow up Planet Namek? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Ski. All right, check it out. Enough. Market cap. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see this. Here's the numbers. You can find this out on any coin. Market cap on Vchain is $2.0 billion, $2.08 billion. FDV, meaning the fully diluted value. If all of the supply was circulating, what would the market cap be? Okay, listen, I have news for you. You want this number to be as close as possible. The further it is away, the more dilution is going to happen. All right? In Vchain's particular case, 99.16% of all of the supply that will ever exist is currently already existing. That's great news. That's about as good as it gets. Okay? That's about as good as it gets. Okay, so number one for Vchain is check. That's a resounding check. That's about as good as it gets. Because I'm willing to tolerate actually about a 40% discrepancy. If this was 2 billion and let's say it was 3 billion FDV, I'm willing to tolerate that. 3.5 billion, somewhere in there. That's like, okay. It's basically the same number though. Chef's kiss. Okay, number two. Charts. All right, what are the charts on Vchain looking like? I don't know. Perhaps my favorite chart ever. Wyckoff accumulation. Sign of strength. Backtest. Move higher. Where have we seen this? And also, like, I look at risk to reward. I want to see, where is the support? Where's the support? Okay. Well, we can see it. This has been at support since 2018. This has been at support. Where are we at? The same support that has been there since 2018. Okay, so what is the risk? You could say in, the worst likely case scenario, I would say there's a lot of support here. So you could make an argument that we go back to 1.9. That to me is within the realm of possibility. So you're talking about a 17% dip. All right, and then like absolute, there's over a year of support here. Is it possible to lose that? Yes. Is it likely? No. But I'll like, you know, even humor that. 33%. This is like black swan, something that we could not foresee. But the likelihood is going to be 10 to 17%, but black swan is 30% risk. Okay, great. All right, so I'm risking, in all likelihood, 10 to 20% of my money. Now, what is my potential reward? Okay, you pull a Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. Everything that has good tokenomics, which we know Vchain does, will retrace. What is a retracement? Okay, a retracement is like this. Picture this not as a chart, but this is a mountain. This is a cliff. All right? A retracement is like this. If I have a ball and I drop a ball, the ball will bounce 50 to 70%. That is called a dead cat bounce in charts. But simply put, just picture a ball, I drop a ball, it bounces 50 to 70%. That's a dead cat bounce. Everything with good tokenomics is going to go boing, minimum to the 0.5. Bare bones minimum, you can take that to the bank. Literally, actually, take it to the bank. Okay? That's not even price. That's not even a new all-time high. That's just a dead cat bounce. Everything with good tokenomics that is not broken will do that. Well, what is that? That's a 5.5x. I'll take that. So risking 20% for a 5.5x, that's beautiful. I'll take that all day, every day, twice on Sunday. And that's my bare bones like case. That's 15 cents. 20 cents is the 702. That's still the dead cat bounce. Price discovery is 44. And then not even maximum parabolic, but just parabolic is 66 cents. But even risking 20% for a 5.5x on a blue chip project, are they doing something? Yes, they're partnered with Walmart. They're partnered with the UFC, the official sponsor of the UFC. They're partnered with Amazon. They're partnered with all these different projects. They're doing something. That part matters the least amount to me, because that what you do does not equal how good of an investment it is. It's counterintuitive, but if that were the case, why is Fartcoin sitting at $1 billion market cap? Like, what does Fartcoin do? And this has the same exact setup as Bitcoin, that, like we talked about earlier. All right, let's read some of these comments. Thank you for the $2 donation, brother. Shapeshift Fox predictions, Mike G, please. I got you. It's only looking good on the daily. It's only is looking amazing on the daily. About as good as it gets. Partners with BMW. What's a good example of crypto or stock that has retraced? Everything, bro. Let me do Fox real quick. And then I will rattle off like 700 examples for you. How about that? Because I want to make sure that I got him. He donated $2 for me to do some TA. So I want to make sure I take care of. Okay, this looks good too. I don't mind this. Retracement 49. I don't know what the tokenomics is. 280 for parabolic though, but I don't mind this chart. All right, examples of coins that have retraced. All right, let's start from the top. Let's start with Bitcoin. All right, right here. All right, so the question is, we just talked about retracing. Everything with good tokenomics will retrace. It will. Okay, and that may not even be the end of it, but that will happen. All right, so here's Bitcoin. You pull Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. What do you get? Dead cat bounce. This is called a... This is just a retracement rally. So from the bottom, boing, where do you go? The 618 Fibonacci retracement. Above the 0.5. You come back, reaccumulate. A lot of people confuse this move with the bull market. They think that this is the bull market. This is just a little dead cat bounce rally. I would argue that that's what 2024 was. Right? All right, that's one example. We can also show Bitcoin again. Did the same thing. Right here. We got a Fibonacci from the top. This is 2013. From the top to the bottom. Boom. 618. Fibonacci retracement. What do we know about Bitcoin? It likes to go to the 618. Okay. XRP. Why was I so bullish in 2023 on XRP? What was I talking about? Who was following me in 2023? Who was following me in 2023? I talked about this until I was blue in the face. I'm going to show you Bitcoin here. And then we're going to talk about XRP. Why did I know in my bones that XRP was going to break out? Who was following me in 2023? It didn't even happen in 2023, but I scouted it in 2023. I knew it in my bones. All right. This is the same chart, ladies and gentlemen. On the top is Bitcoin. On the bottom is XRP. And I made the case that although Bitcoin did a full cycle from the top from 2017, this is all the way into 2021, right? This is a full 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. I made the argument that XRP is not on a 4-year timeline, right? Because this is 4 years. This is 2017. This is 2021. What happened, by the way? What happened? I pull a Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. Where did XRP go? The 618. You see it. From the top to the bottom. Bounced where? To the 618. Now, if you're following me in 2023, I was certain that XRP was going to make new heights even though everyone said it was dead. The reason I said it was this was the exact same damn structure as Bitcoin. Parabolic rise, crash down, retrace, backtest, reaccumulate, move higher. Mark up, actually. That's exactly what XRP did. But everyone's like, oh, the 4-year. And then what did I counter? I said the 7-year. XRP is a banker coin. It's on a 7-year cycle. It's not on a 4-year cycle. Okay, I was talking about that at 40, 50 cents with video evidence. And then I sold 40% of my XRP at $3.33. Everyone said I was crazy. Well, that's just a couple examples, but bro, I promise you I can do this all day. So many coins, they do this again and again and again and again and again. I given you 4 good examples. I'll give you a couple more. We'll do 2 more, and then you get the idea. Let's do Dogecoin. Again, what did I just say? I would argue people confuse the retrace as the bull market. It happened in 2019, and I said I would argue that 2024 was just the retrace rally. What do we see? This is Dogecoin. From the top to the bottom, where do we go? 702. That's above the 618. That's a really good retrace. Really good. But yes, this happens again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And again. What's another good example? This isn't a good chart. Here you go. LCX. Okay, here's my journey with LCX. This is the last one I do, and we'll move on. From the top to the bottom, where do we go? Right above the 0.5, just shy of the 618. I was saying with video evidence back March of 2024, I said if you were my brother, I would say to take profit on LCX. And everyone's like, oh, I hate LCX. I navigated LCX like an assassin back in 2024. Then we came back. I have it circled. This isn't hindsight. This isn't revisionist history. When we were at 8 cents, I said LCX is my #1 medium cap play right now. And then boom. We went all the way back from 8 cents to 36 cents, and I said the same thing. If you were my brother, I would take profit. And then now we're reaccumulating. I actually think LCX is a great value again. So there you go. With that, that was a really good question, SM26. I appreciate the question. A better entry now, Vchain or XLM. I think they're both solid, honestly. They're both below the 236, which is what I consider to be extreme value. But I personally like Vchain a little bit better. Jasmine, my target is 10, 11, 12 cents. I was following in 2023. Okay, well then you can attest, Martin, that's what I was saying. That I am not just, how old is Solnick? Solnick has been around since January of 2024. Yeah, so you can attest. At some point, doesn't matter when, we'll retrace. I think it will happen before the end of November. It's going to do the 5x move. I think there's a decent chance it goes into price discovery, but a 5x is like, you don't need, like, that's enough. You know what I mean? You stack those wins consistently, minimize risk. All right, I'll look at Rose, bro. It's at the spring, in my opinion. I've went over Rose so much. Whole hand, late live. I know, MJ. I just got back. Ski, can you look at my 150x in the last 30 days? Gives preview on what comes. You check Jasmine, 10, 11, 12 cents for Jasmine. All right. When do you think our last best entry will be? September. We're here. Smoke them if you got them. Do you think we dip when rate are cut? I do, but I don't think we make... People anticipate us to make a lower low. I don't think we make a lower low. I just think we make a lower high. All right, let's check out Gav's Dads. Thanks for the roses. Thanks for the beer. Conkley. Irish Dano, thanks for the gifts, brother. Alan. Marco. I appreciate you guys for the gifts. Bro, don't answer me. What do you want from me? Flux prediction 333, 5, 8, 12. No. 513. Why is your boy Alex so damn grumpy? It's a lot. Like, it's, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have a ritual that I do. I get like an entire, before I go live, why am I always late, you guys might ask? Because I don't just like hop into a live, because I know that I need to be ready to fully handle whatever the good is, whatever the bad is. And so I get myself in this like place of being where I can be present, I can be alert, I can be stoic and not emotional, because I know that there's trolls. There's people that give me my flowers, and there's people that will troll, and it's just part of the game. And I think I do a pretty good job at navigating that. So it's a lot. It can be emotionally draining. You know, everyone's freaking out on a little dip, or everyone's just FOMOing so much when we're pumping, and they're saying you're an idiot if you're selling. It could be a lot to handle that every, like, day after day after day after day. So I get it. What's going on with Solnick? We're going to be finishing the filming of the documentary BYOB, Be Your Own Bank. That is going to be finished in spring of 2026. We're actively working on the stable coins. We're actively working on the dApps, the swap apps. The staking is already up, and we're waiting for on-chain to get their act together so that you can buy it with Google Pay. So that's it. Yeah, everything is on track with that. It's just like, you can't rush development. You know, I don't want to put out a bad product ever. So if I'm late, I'm happy being late. But I'm not going to be incorrect. I'm not going to show up not having everything squared away. But yeah, Solnick is deep in Wyckoff accumulation, in my opinion. Deep. Like, here you go. I'm going to show you. We're going to show the Wyckoff chart. Right here. Take a note. Take a screenshot. And then we're going to show the Solnick chart. And you tell me if you see anything that looks different. Because I do not. That's the update. That is what a bottom looks like, ladies and gentlemen. It does not get any cleaner. I can assure you. That is what a bottom looks like. All we need to do, Look how coiled up the moving averages are. Beautiful. All right. That's what a bottom looks like. What's my sold price? My sold price is 420, 510, 600, low, medium, high. Targets on Arrow. Arrow has a little bit too much inflation for me personally. Maybe I didn't get the invite. You know what I mean? Like, I know they paid a lot of people to talk about it. So maybe I wasn't on the list. That's cool. By the way, Arrow has retraced. That's another good example. My target is 350 to 550. Those are my targets, which is pretty solid. But it has a little bit too much inflation for me personally. Yin Yang. SOS. The SOS is next. Any Cardano predictions? 2468. Rose. All right. I told you Rose. Rose is just accumulating too. It's in the sea. So this is how I have it marked out. This is the spring. Micro retrace is 10 cents. Macro retrace is 30 cents. Macro parabolic is 140. Micro parabolic is 44. Do you think rate cuts will cause a massive pullback? No, I don't. I think that it is priced in. It's going to be volatile. I don't think we do anything other than a higher low. That is my prediction. That is my prediction. A higher low. Like, we have been waiting for rate cuts. Like, how long have we talked about rate cuts? It's not like it's a surprise. Like, okay. Let's go over to Fed Watch. Seven days, 14 hours away. What do they have it as? 93% chance. Right? Quite literally, the market has it priced in. Literally. They have it priced in. So what does the market like? What does the market not like? Is it events that the market doesn't like? No, it's uncertainty. The Web, thanks for becoming a member. Yes, Savage. $0.10, 30 cents, 44 cents, $1.40. Yes, listen, there's going to be a lot of volatility. I'm not advocating in any stretch of the imagination. So the question is, do I think we will have a dip after rate cuts to shake out weak hands? I am not advocating for a second that there's not going to be volatility. There's a saying, never let a good crisis go to waste. This is what the apex predators do. Okay, there's going to be volatility this week because we just had the job reports. There's what are the major events this week? Actually, there's a couple of things that are taking place this week. Come on. Hold on. What do we have this week? There's a few things that are happening this week that are pretty big. And then next week is the rate cuts. So, like, for the next 2 weeks, expect, literally, you should expect volatility. I'm not advocating in the slightest, in the slightest, that there's not going to be volatility. No. Here we go. Calendars. There we go. That's what we was looking for. Sorry. So tomorrow we have something. I thought there was something tomorrow and Thursday. Oh, yes. The CPI. Or the PPI. That's a big deal. I think there's something on Thursday. And then next week is the rate cut. So there's going to be volatility for sure. The CPI is on Thursday. There's going to be volatility. But I just think it's going to be a washing machine. French government collapsed. CPI, PPI. I should have just read the comments. I appreciate that. I'm not a fundamental. I look at the charts and that keeps me grounded, because when you pay attention to the narratives, it has a way of just getting you super emotional. It has a way of ungrounding you. It has a way of, even me, like, I'm super grounded. I'm super slow moving. I'm super, level headed. But if I start doing too much into that, I feel it too. I'm a human just like everybody else. There's too much inflation on Valdrum. ETH might do a 3,900 correction. All right, go through my TikTok comments. No one's asking about the upside. That tells me where we're at. Okay. No one's asking me ETH might 7,200. No one's asking me, are we gonna pump because of the rate cuts? No one's asking me any of these questions. No, I don't think Rose has too much inflation. 100% Web. 100%. All right, guys. I just wanted to come on here real quick, because I just got back. I know I haven't live streamed a lot because I've been super sick, but I'll be back on the normal schedule tomorrow. I'll be uploading 3 to 5 shorts every day, so drop a follow on that. I'll do my 20-minute market update video tomorrow as well, so drop a follow for that. If you need help setting up a personalized exit strategy or an entry strategy, hit me in the DMs for that. I'd be happy to do a Google Meet or a Telegram video call to verify my identity, to show you that I'm the real deal, because I know there's lots of scammers. Speaking of scammers, I will never message you first. If your boy Skis Crypto, or anybody asks you, how's your trading going, any of that stuff, it's not me. If you message me, I will message you back. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this time. I'll be live tomorrow, and I'll try to start putting it out on Twitter at least an hour before I go live, so you guys have an idea. But the plan is about 5 p.m. Central tomorrow. But that's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity, God first. God bless.